everybody. Today we're going to be going over skill lesson practice solve one-step addition and subtraction equations. The thing we have to remember at the end of all of these, we want our variable on one side of the equal sign and our number on the other side of the equal sign. I will do all the odds, of course, and I'll let you guys do the even. And if we do these, we're going to see that we've got x plus 2 over here equals 8. Well, again, we want the variable by itself. So we're going to do the only thing we can to 2 to turn it into 0, and that's introduce it to negative 2. If we combine it with negative 2, well, that gives us 0, just like we want it. And then we can bring the x down. And, of course, I believe in equality, so whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do the other. That's 8 minus 2, and that's going to equal 6. So x is going to equal 6. All right, on number 3, once again, we've got the variable over here with a number. We need to get the number out of there, so I'm going to introduce it to its inverse. If I'm dealing with positive 5 here, so I will go ahead and combine it with negative 5. Of course, if I do that to this side, I have to do it to the other side. Now I got 12 minus 5, and that's going to give me 7. Now that this is 0, I can just bring the a down and the equal sign, and we see that a equals 7. Let's move down. I'm going to start moving a little faster now just for the sake of timeliness. Here's number 5. We got q plus 10 equals 22. So I'm going to subtract 10 from this side. Whatever I subtract from one side, I have to subtract to the other. After I'm done, the q remains. The 10 minus 10 is no longer needed to put down. The equal sign comes down, and I now have 22 minus 10, which is 12. So q equals 12. Now we have m plus 9 equals 17. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost did the even. Number 7, b minus 4 equals 9. Well, it's a negative sign here. We treat it the same way. We're going to find the inverse. So I'm just going to add 4 to it. For those of you confused, just remember, I could say negative 4 plus 4. I could say 4 minus 4. I'm still going to get 0. Of course, that means I have to add 4 to this side. And 9 plus 4 is 13. So I have b equals 13. All right, number 9, 11 equals t minus 7. Well, it put the variable with the number on the other side of the equal sign. We treat it no different, though. I need the variable by itself, so I'll introduce the inverse of negative 7, which will be positive 7. And that's going to give me 0. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. And now I have 18 on this side. The equal sign comes down with the t, so 18 equals t. Let's do number 11. I see negative x minus 11 equals 9. Means I'm going to add 11 to this side, which of course means I'll add 11 to this side. 11 minus 11 gives me 0, so x is going to equal 20. Let's move on. And let's see, we got number 13 here. 72 equals 22 plus w. I think it's time for our code before we go on. So our code for today is going to be, let's go with velvet roses. Okay, so if you have this written on your paper, I'm going to know you watched the video, and I'm going to go ahead and award you a nice treat. So let's move on. We got 13 here. 72 equals 24 plus w. We're going to subtract 24 from this side and this side, because whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm fair like that, you know. That brings the w down here. This is 0. I don't need to write that down. And that gives me 72 minus 24. And of course, that's going to become 8, because I had to borrow 1 from here to turn it into 12. Now I have 6 minus 2. Of course, that's going to be 4. Let's go to 15. I got 6 plus y equals negative 8. So I'm going to subtract 6 so I can get the y by itself. Of course, that means I have to do it to the other side. And now I have y coming down equals, and this is going to be a negative because I have two numbers that are both negative. I'm going to keep the sign, and I just add them together. And that'd be 14. Number 17 says n plus 3.5 equals 6.7. The only thing they're doing to try to make this scary is giving you some decimals in there, which we know how to use this, so that's not going to bother us at all. We're going to subtract the 3.5. And if I subtract 3.5 from one side, I have to subtract the 3.5 from the other side. Now, I can go ahead and bring down my n. This is gone now, since it's 0, and that's going to equal, well, let's see, 7 minus 5, that's 2. Decimal point comes down, to 6 minus 3, well, that's 3. So our answer is going to be 3.2. All right, let's move down to number 19, where it says 98 equals t minus 18. I'm going to add 18 to this side, so it will become 0. But I have to add 18 to this side if I do it. And if I do, then I can say I have 18 minus 18, that's 0. The t comes down, and now I have 98 plus 18. Well, 8 plus 8, that's 16. Carry the 1, and that gives us 11. So 116 equals t. Next, I have x minus 18 equals negative 2. And, well, I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to add 18 to this side. And once I add 18 to that side, I'm committed to adding 18 to my other side. Remember, whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. That brings down my x. These cancel each other out. My equal sign comes down, and I have negative 2 plus 18. Well, I can say negative 2 plus 18, or I can say 18 minus 2, which I know is 16. And it makes a lot more sense to me to say it that way. All right, 23, I have a minus 1.5 equals 4.2. Once again, I have to find the inverse of the number that's with the letter. So since negative 1.5 is with the variable, I'm going to add 1.5 to this side. And of course, whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. Once again, this allows me to totally get rid of my 1.5s. They cancel out. That's going to be 0. And I bring down my variable. The equal sign also comes down, and I do my math. And if this is addition, I have 2 plus 5, that's going to be 7. And 4 plus 1, that's going to be 5. So 8 equals 5.1. And that's all I'm helping with today. The evens are yours. I'll see you in class. Have a great one.